but there's one horror movie about vampires where a vampire goes in to the house and then is like, "How you are supposed to be welcomed in?" And then they like look at the placemat and it says "Welcome."
Was that Renfield?
It was Renfield.
Yeah, I think it was Renfield.
Okay,
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
Hello. Do you want to play a game?
What's your favorite scary movie?
Be afraid. Be very
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Here's Johnny.
The power of Christ compels you! The power of Christ compels you!
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.
Welcome to Talking Horror with Jamie and Nikisha.
Hi, I'm Jamie.
And I'm Nikisha, and this is Talking Horror with Jamie.
And Nikisha.
Where we share our love for all things scary and talk horror through the lens of human behavior. Jamie is waving those lenses high in the air like he just doesn't care. Fantastic. Welcome, everyone. Also, happy Hispanic Heritage Month. Woo, woo, woo. And because it is Hispanic Heritage Month, today we are talking about the 2023 Argentina supernatural horror film, When Evil Lurks.
Se nos va a meter en nuestro cuerpo, se nos va a meter en nuestra alma. No lo haga, por favor. Va a ser peor. Va a ser peor. Lo tiene que hacer alguien que sepa hacerlo.
¡Cállate, hija de puta! Tendría que haberles quemado el rancho cuando vinieron a instalarse acá. ¡Lacras! Vinieron a contaminarlo todo. ¡A contaminarlo todo! ¡Hijos de puta! ¡Hijos de puta! Mátame, Ruiz.
Yes. Do you have one of those instruments? They'll just like play all the creepy
like
stuff
the
for us.
theremin or
Oh yeah, the
it
theremin
is.
is a creepy one.
A theremin. I should know that. Take my degree away. Anyway. So, When Evil Lurks was directed by Demián Rugna, and it stars Ezequiel Rodriguez, Damian Solomon, Luis Ziembroski, Sylvia Sabater, and Marcelo Micano. So, heavy spoilers for if you have not seen When Evil Lurks. It is streaming right now on Hulu, maybe other places, but I watched it on Hulu. And Jamie, again, laundry lists of trigger warnings for this
God,
movie.
I feel like I
so
should
many.
say what isn't a trigger warning because it'll be shorter.
It's everything,
This
man.
movie, this movie hates kids. This movie hates adults. This movie hates bodies that are intact. This
Animals.
movie, there there is child death, possession, animal death, animal possession, people being disemboweled, people being killed in a variety of ways, some kind of demon, a demon coming out of a corpse.
Yep. Oh God.
Yeah. Oh man.
It's a lot.
Suicide. God, I'm just like there's so much.
Men not listening to women
Oh,
at the end.
for sure.
For sure.
Oh, like there's also like weird views on autism.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, like
that was very
autism
interesting.
spectrum.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Being like someone eating people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. They don't show it, but talk about cannibalism a lot.
Yes.
In this. Yeah.
I mean, you see, like, you don't watch somebody eat somebody, but you do see like the aftermath.
Yes. Lots of insights on the outside.
Oh, and
Very, very
guns.
graphic.
Guns as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. So if you are not a very graphic horror movie person, then stay far, far, far away from this movie. Great. But before we get into all those things, producer Brian is going to give us just a couple words.
Yes. Follow us on @TalkHorrorPod on TikTok and Instagram. You can also find us on YouTube. Hi, YouTube. I'll just keep it at that. Well, next month in October we have a lot of fun stuff, so make sure that you're following us on both Instagram and on TikTok. I'll just say that. Yanana.
Lots of fun things. Well, y'all, I watched a couple movies this week.
Yeah, let's hear it. Me too.
Gosh. Okay, first one was not great, so I'll get it out of the way. But I watched Fear Street Prom Queen.
Oh, I heard it was awful. No. Is that true? That is true, I assume.
It was so bad. It took me so long to get through it.
Oh, that's so disappointing.
And it's disappointing because I also never watched any of the first trilogy of the Fear Street movies.
But really?
No. So this was my introduction.
No. Watch the trilogy if you haven't. Like, unless your next sentence like, and then I watched it.
Yeah, no. I didn't watch it, but what I did do was look at the Rotten Tomatoes because I wanted to see this movie in comparison to the other ones. And this one obviously had the lowest score, and all the rest of them were in the 80s and 90s.
Oh, the other three are great.
Yeah.
Totally worth it. We are.
So I'll go back and watch it, but I was just kind of flipping through and I thought, oh, this might be like a cute funsy, but it wasn't even like the good bad. It was just bad.
Well, the good thing about this, the silver lining is you got the bad one out of the way.
Yes.
So now
true.
You'll watch the three good ones. They're
it's
really
only up
good
from here. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But one that I had a blast watching, but I did not know what I was getting into, but y'all have suggested it to me more than once, was Deadstream. I watched it.
Oh my God. That's like the best.
It is. I loved it, but I didn't know what I was expecting, but I was not expecting that.
Okay.
It's just so kooky, but in the best way. Like it was a good surprise. But I was in it to win it right when the YouTube channel mess starts at the very beginning of like, extreme, blah, blah, blah. Look at facing my fears, blah. And the actor is just so great. But when it goes off of the rails towards the end with, and I won't spoil it, but just, in the haunted house and the ghosts and all those things, like it just reminded me of scary movies, the scary movies in a way.
Yeah, sure, totally.
And I was obsessed with it. So
it's like actually funny. Like
it is.
Like like it's not. I feel like a lot of horror comedies aren't actually funny. They're just not like deeply scary. But this one like is funny. Every time he screams, Jamie would watch me crack up.
It was truly the best. And just how he's finding out all of the events like in the house. I had a great time. And again, he was such a great actor. And I didn't think it was going to be a horror comedy, but once we got into the house, it was a great time. I was laughing hysterically at so many things.
Just as a reminder to our listeners, the people who did Deadstream also did the Mabel VHS segment.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Mabel?
That tracks.
Was that her name, Mabel? Yeah.
Hail Mabel. We love Mabel. Yes.
We love Mabel.
Yeah. No, it was great. So I think I was just scrolling through one of the streaming services and saw that it was up, and I'm like, yep, it's this one today. We're gonna watch it.
Awesome.
And it was great. Loved it. Highly recommend if you want a really good horror comedy, if you love the scary movies, but this one, and it's found footage too. I don't think I mentioned that at the beginning, but I would absolutely recommend Deadstream. Loved it.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Yes. So what did y'all watch?
What didn't we watch? We talked about Until Dawn, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just going to list the movies that I watched.
Oh my gosh.
Slaughterhouse.
Oh, I saw that on your Instagram. Oh my God. Yeah.
The Wolf of Snow Hollow.
Oh.
You Won't Be Alone.
Okay.
Borderline. Significant Other. The Woman in Black, Phantasm, and ATM.
Golly. And of all those, what would you recommend people to watch?
Okay. Slaughterhouse I would recommend if you want something like super campy.
Okay.
The Wolf of Snow Hollow is easily one of my favorite werewolf movies ever.
Really? Okay.
I loved it. You Won't Be Alone is an incredible witch movie. It's like if Terrence Malick made The Witch. It is about it's in Macedonian and French. It is about a witch who accidentally kills a peasant and takes over her body and gets to experience what it's like to be human. And it's this like tone poem 2-hour movie where like this witch switches from body to body, experiencing what it's like to be a child, a woman, a man in 18th or 19th century Macedonia. It's awesome and it's bloody and it's fantastic. I could not suggest it more. I loved it.
Okay.
It's not for everybody though. Definitely not for everybody.
Yeah.
Borderline was borderline good, borderline bad. Like it was fine.
Okay.
It was more quirky than it was substance filled, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Significant Other is not what I expected it to be at all.
Okay.
But the performances are good. Jamie and I watched The Woman in Black.
Mm-hmm.
It's a serviceable gothic horror movie. And it got the job done. I wouldn't be like, whoa, boy, but I'm not going to be like, this is bad. Like, no, it was great in its own way.
Whoa.
I watched 1979's Phantasm, which I had never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea that this was going to be a wild existential meditation on grief and death. And it's weird. Since it's 1979, it's like got all the 70s like kind of things that I like, but it also is starting to like set the stage for the campy 80s stuff that I don't like. So it was kind of it felt more 80s in some places than 70s. Whereas like The Shining from 81 feels more 70s than it does 80s sometimes. It was interesting. I'm glad I watched it. And then my favorite genre, ATM, which is white people getting stuck in places and trying to get out of it, was just a delight. Like if you love like Frozen, you know, the not
horror
this horror skiing movie.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
If you like No Way Up, if you like shit like Escape Room and all that kind of stuff, like literally 3 people. It's Josh Peck, Alice Eve, and then I forget the third guy who's in who's in everything, get stuck in an ATM like booth while being hunted down by like a killer. That's basically the premise.
What year was this? Also, yes for Josh Peck.
2012.
Wow. Okay.
I think I watched that on I think it was on Shudder. I don't remember.
Okay.
Yeah. So that and then outside of that, Jamie and I are binge watching the Bourne movies, like the Jason Bourne movies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've watched the Bourne Identity, the Bourne Supremacy, and we're like 20 minutes into the Bourne Ultimatum. I've seen them; she had not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've never been borned.
Borned. Now you're getting borned. That's,
yeah,
that's great. Are you liking them, Jamie?
It's funny like watching these movies that I have no like experience with, whether it's like nostalgia or whatever. It's deeply silly. Like some of the action things are really interesting because it's clear that this was like the beginning of a lot of different like tactics and things that were used in other movies. The core of the story itself I find incredibly silly because it's like a big dumb misunderstanding, but also feels timely because it's like the government is so stupid in this movie.
Oh my
like
God,
all
so
the choices
dumb.
that they're making, they're just jumping to the wildest conclusions, and I'm like, This kind of makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah. They're too close to home.
Yeah. So it's like the action's fun, but it's also, I can't take this movie seriously at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
So,
Mhm.
of everything, if you want something stupid to turn your brain off and watch action, watch the Bourne movies. And the two best things that I watched were The Wolf of Snow Hollow and You Won't Be Alone.
Okay. Got it. I have to put that down on the list. Y'all watched
Yeah,
a
Wolf
lot
of
of good
Snow
stuff.
Hollow.
Yeah.
Wolf of Snow Hollow is on. I think it's on like Shudder and Tubi. Like you can find it a
Yeah.
lot of places. You Won't Be Alone. I watched on Peacock, but I'm sure it
Mm.
might be available other places.
Yeah. Listen, don't sleep on Tubi. Sometimes they have some good
No,
stuff.
I watched some great stuff on Tubi. I think
Yeah.
we didn't. Slade was on Tubi.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good. All right. Well, let's get into why you guys are here. When Evil Lurks.
Why are you here?
Why
Hello?
are you here? Because you love us and we love you. Thank you. But we need a plot summary.
What's the plot?
Producer Brian is going to give us that 2-minute plot summary.
Okay.
Okay. Producer Brian, are you ready for 2 minutes on the clock to tell us everything about evil lurking and when it
Yeah.
happens?
When it lurks, I'll tell you about it.
All right. Ready, steady, go.
Okay, so this is set in a world where there has kind of been an exorcism pandemic. Well, it's not exorcism pandemic. It's a why can't I think of the word? Possession epidemic. Thank you. Just wasted 10, 15 seconds. So these two brothers basically hear a gunshot. They go out. They find a cabin near their cabin where basically a possessed person is being kept in secret. And the person who came to basically exorcise them and kill them so it didn't spread was killed. And they're like, oh my gosh, who did it? So then the owner of the land in which they all live is like, we need to get rid of this body, like get him off of this. And this is not like a secret, like this is the world that they live in, this like possession zombie apocalypse, if you will. So they try to move the body off of the land, but it falls off the truck and they lose it. And they're just like, it's not our fucking problem anymore. But it possessed the goat on the farm. And then he shoots the goat, but then the goat infects his wife. And then his wife kills him with an axe and kills herself with the axe. And then the brother's like, fuck, we need to get out of here. So the brother's like, we need to go to our families first. So they go into the big city. They try and go to save one of the brother's families from his ex-wife and his brother-in-law. His ex-wife's new parent. And he has a child with autism, and he has another daughter, or a stepdaughter, I should say. Oh, sorry. Anyway, long story short, their dog ends up getting possessed and brutally killing and attacking the daughter. He's able to grab, the wife dies and the husband dies. He's able to grab his autistic son. They get in the car. They pick up their mother. They go to a cabin. They learn all about this stuff from a woman. Then they end up at a school. And while the mother is chasing them, it's like a zombie possession. They go to the school. They're trying to end everything, but the fucking dad doesn't listen, and he fucking ruins everything. And then like the devil or whoever is born, and basically like what this whole possession was trying to do, like finally succeeds. Basically like the children follow this devil child like off into the sunset to wreak havoc on a world that is pretty bleak already.
And that's the plot.
Yeah. Great job.
Yay!
Ooh.
And then there's also a subplot that we'll get into about his son having autism and being on the spectrum, and that the possession affects people on the spectrum differently.
Yes.
And then at the end, the son like spits out up the hair. It was very unclear kind of like what's happened there. We'll talk more about that. That's all I'll say about that.
Oh, that scene. Okay, great. Well, let's get into our first segment, Trick or a Treat, where we let you know if it was a treat, we loved it, or we don't know how we feel about it, or trick, we hated it. And also let us know if you have watched this before.
Trick. Treat.
So Jamie, please go first.
I think this movie is a treat.
And have you seen it before?
I watched it once.
Okay. Yes, I also thought it was a treat, and I rewatched it again. So this is my second time watching it for this. And Brian,
I've seen it twice. This is a treat.
nice. Okay, and also
But I
would love to
don't love it as much as like a lot of people love this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes. And I also, when we get into the likes and gripes, would like to know the difference between your first time watching it and now, because I feel like I have differences in how I viewed it the second time.
Yeah, okay,
around
fair.
for this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's get into the likes and gripes. Jamie, would you like to go first?
And now our likes and gripes.
Surely.
Surely.
So I watched this. I actually watched this doing like a Discord watch along.
Nice.
Anyway, so I will also say that I may have spoiled this movie for myself. Don't tell
By
anyone.
reading?
Yes, before I saw it. Just because like there was so much like talk about this movie when it came out, and I think I just freaked myself out, and I was like, I can wait. And then I heard it was like a fuck them kids movie, and I was like, I should wait a little longer. And then finally I was like, okay, I need to watch this movie, and I watched it after after watching Terrified.
Yeah, we watched yes,
I think so. I think that was the timeline, because after I saw Terrified, I was like, oh, I should probably watch When Evil Lurks now, because I saw his other movie. So I knew generally like what some of the more graphic things were. At least I knew about like the dog child scene, because that was the one thing that like everyone was talking about. And that's why I read the plot, because I was like, I need to know the context of this. So I knew it was going to happen. But again, I find it very different to like visually experience something versus just reading it. So it still was like pretty gruesome. But yeah, I really liked how this is just a world that like they understand that like possession is just a thing, and that they have these cleaners who come and like exorcise demons before it like spreads. And like they even have like, you know, like childhood, was it like a song or just like a thing that like
It was a song.
Yeah, to like keep track of like what the rules are. I know we're going to talk about rules. Because it is like, okay, it's pretty straightforward. And then on the flip side, what I don't like is it's pretty straightforward. Why are these guys so dumb and like they can't just do the thing? Anyway, I can't get into that yet, because I'm sure you both also have comments on that. But yeah, the kills are fucking gruesome. Yeah, this movie, I feel like this is the start of the like, it's probably not true, but like this just, I remember the discourse of like, wow, really fuck them kids. Like it was just, and the animals too. Like they really just go so extreme on like what I would say is like the most vulnerable populations. And you know, that always incites like the strongest reactions from people. So it's just, and it is really they're all really intense and very gory. This movie had a lot of sequences that like happen really quickly. Again, like the dog and child one, like knowing that it was going to happen, it still happened so fast that like there is like this just shock moment, because like just the tension that's building of like there's this intense conversation happening, and then he just like grabs her, and then like seeing it is really awful.
It's awful. And the build up too, like you said, it's, you know that it's coming because they're cutting between the argument with the adults and then the kids playing around, and then eventually it's just the girl with the dog. And so you're like, something is coming and it's going to be crazy. But then, like you said, the dog grabs her so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
You're still like,
horrifying.
yeah.
Yeah. No, that like there's a lot of moments of like that really like obviously like high tension scares or like jump scares or whatever. And then there's like the slow build up stuff in the background. Like the it was like the neighbor who was asking to like stay like sleep in their house.
Yes,
and
yeah.
then they were like, you can sleep in the shed. Like we don't really know what's going on. And then later he admits to like eating his mom.
Yeah.
So just like shit like that, like it's just like gross and horrible. Like this movie like really gave me like goosebumps. Like just it's really just sad and dismal and upsetting. And like again, like all of these vulnerable people are at the highest risk when like these two adults are just like continuously fucking up. And so just thinking about like protecting vulnerable populations, like that also just like makes me deeply upset. And yeah, and okay, let's get into like people being stupid.
There's a lot of that. There's a lot
the
of that.
two brothers are really dumb, and I had a really hard time, even though I really like this movie. I think it's really good. It's really hard watching people just not follow directions.
Yes.
When it's so clearly laid out, especially like, you know, the duality of like in rural areas versus city areas, and like what type of, not even just beliefs, but like culture and like things people buy into. And it's like, what is it about their experiences that like they're not as open or like willing to kind of engage and understand the severity of the situation as opposed to other people. And yeah, just like constantly they are making the wrong choices. And it's like it's infuriating to just watch people keep doing the wrong thing. And you know, obviously that's a trope in horror movies where like we're yelling at the screen of like, don't go in there, what are you doing? But this feels like a whole nother level. Like again, I feel like the consequences feel so much greater because of who is being targeted. And it's like, don't you want to keep like children safe? Don't you want to keep like our pets safe? Like why wouldn't you be taking any cautions? And like I think about that a lot with like the discomfort that I have with this movie. But I also feel like there's something there to like, why are we as the audience meant to feel that discomfort when, you know, we're just watching them make all of these decisions that have these consequences.
Right.
But yeah, I just like, I find it frustrating, but also really interesting. And it just makes me think a lot about the why.
Yeah, because of course, you know, for the story to move along, they have to make some dumb decisions. But like you said,
but it feels like
so
every
extreme.
decision
Yes, it's so extreme.
is wrong.
Yeah.
Every single thing you're doing is wrong. Like, how did you even make it this far in your life if you're just like being driven by like, I don't even know.
Right. Like being bullied by their neighbor or whatever to move the body in the first place. It's like, why are you even attempting to touch that, go near that, you know? And also, they explain the rules twice in this. It's like the mom is singing the song of all the things, and then they meet this woman who is letting you know, like, I did this for years. I know exactly what this is. I know exactly what we need to do to get rid of it. And then you're still like, no, I'm just going to listen to this little demon child and go grab this axe. And then they, you know, attack this woman. And now all of the consequences are because of in direct correlation to your actions. It's not like someone else did something and now your family is suffering. It's like, no, they're suffering because of everything that you chose to do in this.
Yeah. I mean, one of my biggest gripes in this is like, I have no sympathy or empathy for this family because I just don't feel like, I don't know if it's just, I don't know if the characters were presented one way and then made opposite, they made decisions for the plot versus like the decisions felt like them because they're two dumb guys. But like, I never felt like at the beginning they were stubborn, but they weren't two dumb guys. And I feel like every decision they made just didn't feel real. Like it just that really rubbed me the wrong way.
And to be fair, also there's the other guy who makes the dumb decision, Ruiz, who
the neighbor guy,
who who is told like don't use guns because it spreads the infection, and then he shoots him and then immediately gets killed, which also that was shocking. I think that was like, I actually think I yelled out loud when that happened because I also just wasn't expecting it to happen so quickly. Yeah, there's just like these sequences that move really fast, that like that makes it way more unsettling versus like, well, yes, again, there's a lot of tension building that happens and that's always really effective in horror, but like I think just the switch cut to like the immediate thing doesn't even allow you to like sit in the tension for that long. It just like immediately like the shock of it hits you. And I feel like that is even more horrifying because at least with the tension building, you know something is going to happen. Like your body is physically reacting to anticipating whatever the fear response is going to be. But like, and you might still like be like, but like there's the part of you that knows. So
it's
like,
prepared
I think kind of, and then this like kind of cuts into that and doesn't really allow you enough time to just like dwell in the tension.
No.
But yeah, so like definitely a gripe. I'm still trying to figure out like what's the understanding or like what's the intention behind having the son be on the spectrum and then also like using that as a plot point of like him like of how the demon has a harder time because of the way that the brain works and then eventually he has symptom or like he doesn't have the symptoms that he was having before and like using that also as like to indicate that like he probably is possessed now. Like I feel like it's a weird use of like a neurodivergent experience to like move the plot point along. And then on top of that, like, are you having a neurotypical person? Like we talked about this recently where it's like, are you having this neurotypical person like play somebody on the spectrum? Like that also rubs me the wrong way.
And
but I couldn't really find that much stuff about like why choose that to, use as this like pretty central plot point.
Yeah, I didn't love that. I also wasn't, and maybe this is just me, but I also wasn't sure what the movie was trying to say with that. Are they saying that the demon would get locked inside because it couldn't figure out like the brain? Is it saying that the autism is the demon? Because at the end when he spits up the hair, we are made to assume that he ate the grandma and like he killed the grandma. So like does that mean that like the demon had been there all along and that like it just felt very it felt very convoluted. Like I don't like being treated like an idiot. Like I don't like when things are explained to me.
Don't treat me like an idiot.
yeah. But in this one, I don't know. This one I needed this like a little more because I was not sure what they were trying to do or say with that, and therefore it being like this like C plot that kind of like comes back to influence the A plot just didn't feel clean at all.
Agreed, because in the translation, at least to English, the word that she uses, the demon gets stuck in the brain.
Mhm.
And so then
Yeah.
you think, okay, well, are you saying that because now this is a good thing that the demon is possessing a person of, in this neurodivergent, and it's interesting. Like, I agree, Brian, I would need more information about it, because what are you trying to say, and why is it needed for this, when you then don't even really follow through with it to the end?
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
the main plot is that this demon is trying to be hatched from this man that was possessed
Mm-hmm.
earlier. So it's like,
Mhm.
why bring in all this other side stuff about it? It's interesting.
Yeah, and yeah, that was just a
Yeah.
bummer.
Yeah. Any
Mhm.
other likes and gripes, Jamie?
No, I think that's everything I could think of.
Okay. Brian, how about you?
Oh, sure. Um, I think that this movie is fantastic in how it's directed, especially all the bloody, gory attack scenes. Um, honestly, high concept wise, like a possession being treated like a zombie apocalypse is so cool and
Hmm.
so clever and so interesting. This is definitely a world I would like to like get back into and explore for sure. And I thought this was like a kind of a good, whether they do that or not, I thought this was like a kind of a very good way to see as much as we can. Love the rules.
Hmm.
Um, love creepy children. There's just like a lot of stuff in this that I really dug. I thought the prosthetics and the effects were fantastic.
Agreed.
I thought that the first half of this movie is really good at setting up the world. I think that there are some great moments throughout the whole thing. Um, and I really like this movie. However, my gripes focus on all the things that you had mentioned, which is the lack of explanation or understanding of what they were actually trying to do, except for weird shock value with the autism plot line. Um, I had a very hard time feeling bad for these people. And so I have no, at the end when he's like devastated and we're supposed to feel this like, you know, the only people he was trying to save and everything he was trying to do was for his family, and now he's kind of like the only one left essentially, like, like that type of a thing. I didn't care because like I was more in it for the gore and the high concept than I was in for the like the emotional family story, because I thought that he was an asshole, and I thought that the decisions he made had him just like he got what he deserved. Like and I had no empathy or sympathy for him because of the choices that he made, which again, I'm still deciding if I think that they were just out of character to move plot along, or
Hmm.
if they felt like in his character. But like when you're making that many bad decisions over and over, so some of his decisions, the familial based decisions, were like he's like going back for his kids and all this, like totally believable, even though like maybe some of them were the wrong decision. um the decisions he makes at the end, when he has been told explicitly, when these people live in a world and know how high the stakes are in this world, like I just don't believe that these decisions would have been made. And yes, they portray him as a hothead who kind of does things on a whim here and there, but like not enough so. And maybe it's just the maybe I'm just not as in tune to Argentinian culture or something like that. But I don't think that's the case.
Hmm.
Not that I'm in tune with it. I'm just saying like this felt very accessible.
Hmm.
Um, and I don't feel bad for anyone in this movie. I just enjoy it for the horror, and I really wanted something a little bit more. Yeah, I don't care that it was dark and devastating and bleak. Like
Yeah.
I love a good bleak ending. Don't get me wrong, but I just didn't feel anything for these people because of everything I just previously stated.
Yeah.
I will say I liked this movie better. I liked this movie differently the second time than the first time. But Jamie,
Okay.
I want you to finish your thought.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that I remember I had read, and I wanted to find it again, but I had read about like where the story idea comes from. Um, like separate from the characters being assholes and making dumb decisions, but it was inspired by like farm pesticides in Argentina, and like rural communities being deeply impacted, and like have like significant health issues. So like this idea of like the contaminated land and
Mm,
suffering kind of starts this spread of the demonic contagion.
Oh wow.
interesting.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, very interesting.
Yeah.
Um, but
But yeah, they're still dumb and make dumb.
well, yeah, they're still dummy faces. And they're also not being portrayed as like dumb, like Argentinian hillbillies. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
they're not being portrayed as like like Tucker and Dale. You know what I mean? Like they're not
Yeah.
being so. But I have seen this twice. My enjoyment of them were very different. The first time I was just taking it all in, and I was enjoying the surprise of a lot of these like brutal kills. And then at the end I kind of left very empty because of how I felt about these characters. The second time through, I definitely still enjoyed all of the kills and stuff like that, but I definitely was trying to follow the familial storyline just a little bit closer and see if I could like jumpstart. It did not. But I definitely had a different opinion of the movie the second time, knowing how it ends, obviously, and just seeing if I could get more into their story. But at the end of the day, I still really just like it for like how it's made and the uniqueness and cleverness of it. The bleakness I like. Um, I think it's a really good balance of like these silly prosthetics and high concept versus like this kind of grounded telling of it. But yeah, the first time was more of a surprise and awe. The second time, while I still enjoyed it, I was like, yeah, this doesn't scratch the itch for me.
I
Like,
agree.
so, how you get to the end of some movie and you're like, oh fuck, that scratched the itch.
Yes.
Whether it is because it was weird and like by a unique voice, or whether it was just like, man, this whole movie thematically and narratively just like really fit together. Like this movie didn't scratch those itches for me that I feel after watching I don't know, like anything else that we've talked about in this that like we really dig, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think the first time I watched this, it was the shock value of it all that just stuck with me and made me really love it. But the second go around, I was just more annoyed with all of the choices that were being made. And but again, I was still peeking between my fingers at the dog scene,
Oh yeah,
and
totally.
that still will forever hold up. But yeah, I definitely not invested in the characters. But what I will say is that I do enjoy well, sorry, Brian, are you finished with your likes and gripes before I
Yes,
take
no,
over?
I'm done. You can go. Yeah.
I do like how this movie immediately starts with the action. It's like, get all this exposition for the
Yeah.
first 30 minutes out of here. Like, I just want to be dropped into the world. And then you can tell me about the characters through the actions that are happening. And I think that's why I was even more annoyed by the guys, because they don't give a lot of context. All you know them from is their dumb actions. So you don't have anything else to kind of gravitate towards.
Sure.
But again, I did like, it's like you hear the gunshot at the beginning and then we're following the gunshot. What's happening? What's going on? Also, we didn't mention too, that little boy who ate his mom was also the one who killed the guy at the beginning of the movie.
Right.
Yeah,
which
sets it all off.
Sets it all off, and then just knocks on the door like, "May I have some more, sir? Can I please stay here?"
Fuck them kids.
You're like, not falling for that. F them kids.
No. You stay outside. I'm not. I've seen
away.
Sinners. I'm not letting you in.
Yeah, hell no. Stay outside, bitch.
Which, speaking of, I need to switch my welcome mat because it says the word welcome, and I get nervous because you're not supposed to.
Oh, that's
oh my god!
excellent point.
I think about that all the time about
Yes.
like vampire movies. I can't even remember. There was one in particular, and if anybody knows, please tell us. But there's one
Yes.
horror movie about vampires where a vampire goes in to the house and then is like, "How you're supposed to be welcomed in?" And then they like look at the placemat and it
Yes.
says "Welcome."
Was that
Was that
Renfield?
It was Renfield.
Yeah, I
Yes.
think it was
Yes.
Renfield.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah.
Thank you. Okay, never mind. You don't have to tell us. We figured it out.
No, that's what I immediately think of all the time. But you just saying like not
Mhm.
inviting you in, I'm like, I need to change my welcome mat. It was just a cute fall one, but I'm like, nope, you're better than that, Nikisha. You can't make dumb decisions like these men in this movie.
You're better than that.
You're better than that. Yes, but I agree, Brian, with the makeup. I thought the makeup was fantastic. Just the first possessed person at the beginning and the oozing of, oh, I hate pus. As much as I love gore, I am not a pimple popper person. And I cannot watch those things. So when they're trying to move the body and pus is coming out and things are it was very disturbing to me, but it adds to the charm of the movie.
Oh no, I agree. Like even the pussy scenes in The Substance got me.
Yeah, I hate
like
it.
the spine over and over again. Like that's yeah.
Like I would much rather the axe to the face than the pus.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And Jamie, I agree with what you said about just how fast it comes around because it doesn't give you a chance to cover your eyes. Like even though I knew it was coming, it still was so quick. But it's still very effective. Yeah. So I already talked about the dog scene, all the things. Also, there was a quote, or at least the translation was "Evil likes children and children like evil," which I just thought was hilarious.
That's a great quote. But that also goes that we haven't talked about it in a while, but like I like that this movie really focuses on like they take the vulnerable. Like like we talk a lot about in this podcast, like why did they choose this person in this? Like why did the demon choose this person because of their vulnerability? Like, yeah, children are vulnerable, but I think that quote is really fantastic.
Yeah. And them just, lying to the brothers about where the body is hidden and saying like, don't go there. And the woman just being like, it's a trap. Like, don't listen to them. It's in the school. And then the guy is still just so hot-headed and ready to go and do whatever. It was really wild.
Like, stop being so dumb.
Just stop being so dumb. And that's literally what was my next thing. The dumbest decision was not listening to her. And then those kids got her so quickly. And then just them dragging her and hitting her over the head with the hammer. Like that makeup was great, but that was very unsettling. The only thing that made me go, huh, was the
It made you go what?
Huh? Was the rotten body at the end when the brother finally I don't know what he does, but he bangs him on the head. But I was looking at the makeup for it and I'm like, you can tell this is obviously like a doll or something, like it wasn't somebody in prosthetics. And it just kind of took me out of it a little bit because it was such a stark difference from all the incredible makeup that was happening beforehand. But again, still effective. And those children just like walking in the light with that demon was, such a beautifully shot, highly disturbing.
Yeah, a lot of these movies, I will say, these movies' visual stayed with me. I still think about a lot of these sequences. I don't think about the movie overall. I think about the sequences, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Whereas, like when I think, I'm trying to like The Witch, like I think of that movie overall. Yes, I remember sequences, but like that movie scratches an itch for me that this one doesn't. And I know they're very different.
Deliciously?
Yeah. Oh, thou would love us to live deliciously.
Those goats would be best friends from this movie.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Goat besties.
Goat besties.
Yeah. You're my best friend.
Oh my God.
Well.
You ruined it. No. Yeah, but I feel like the second go around, I wasn't as engaged as I was the first go around, but of course it was because I already knew what was happening. But those scenes will always, the gory scenes, the kills will always stay with me in that movie. But
Definitely.
less exposition, y'all. Let's get right to the action and give me all the things to the end, because that's what kept me engaged for this.
Yeah, totally.
Any other things? Oh my God, sorry. And the last thing, that scene when the other brother is trying to look for the little boy and the mom has him and is holding him and like eating out of his head, his brains or whatever. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't think I clocked that, or that part didn't stick with me. So the first time I watched it, so the second time I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Oy.
So I think that image will now stay with me first for this movie, because that was insane. But yeah, any other thoughts before we move on?
No, I think no. I just it's good. It's really good. It's excellent.
Yeah.
I think that people have a higher opinion of it than I do, and it seems like we do.
Yeah,
I think we're in this phase of like people are overhyping. It's kind of like, you know how YouTube captions historically would be like, you can't believe what's going to happen next, like just to try to get you to click on it. I feel like now that's what's happening with TikTok, and it's like they have to say their same engaging thing, and it's like, oh my God, are you ready for the scariest thing of all time? And it's
You've
like,
never seen this much blood ever in your whole life. There's so much blood.
Yeah, it's just like this over the top reaction that I feel like sets completely false expectations going into something. And like I've really had to kind of fully disengage from allowing those things to influence my opinion going into a movie, because like I just don't trust them anymore. So I'm like, okay, I'm going in with no expectations. I don't need to hear if it's like the best or the worst. Like I just want to see it and form my own opinion.
Yeah, totally.
Absolutely. And I think it was the year that it came out and the things that were surrounding it that also made people be like, oh, this is amazing. Because I feel like also that year wasn't like a lot of good stuff. So that probably also like attributed to people being like, this is the best. It's like, no, let's like really look at this.
Well, that was Didn't Talk to Me come out that year?
That's what I'm
like,
looking
Late Night
for.
with the Devil.
Okay.
Night
2023.
I just remember, I mean, it was on
some good
everybody's
stuff.
list, like end of the year list.
Mithrigan.
Yeah, this year.
Scream 6.
This was my Talk to Me, Evil Dead Rise with Sarah, Megan, Thanksgiving, Totally Killers, Scream 6, Birth, Rebirth, When Evil Lurks, Influencer, Brooklyn 45, Mother Maya, Infinity Pool, The Blackening, Saw X, Hell House Origins, The Conference, The Offering, Boogeyman, No One Will Save You, Insidious, I'm Going to the Children, Russell Crowe and a Vespa, The Pub's Exorcist, Bird Box Barcelona, Cobweb, Renfield, welcome, Matt,
Hey.
Unseen, Cocaine Bear,
The
Five
Offering.
Nights at The Offering, yeah, that was good. Voyage of the Demeter, Sick, It Lives Inside, VHS 86, There's Something in the Barn, The Exorcist Believer, Knock at the Cabin 65, Haunted Mansion, Consecration, Malum, The Tank, Creature Stirring from Black, Snow Falls, Outwaters, ugh, that piece of shit.
I was thinking the same thing for Knock at the Cabin. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, this is not any better or worse
like
than other years.
That's fair.
I feel like 2022 on, I feel like has been a pretty solid, like there's been a lot more good horror movies, because that was like Barbarian, Nope year, Smile, Bodies, Fresh. Like I feel like there was a lot of really good. That's when Deadstream came out, obviously.
22.
Yeah, Pearl. 22, yeah. So I feel like that was a really top year of horror for me.
So
and then
good.
I feel like it's kind of been pretty
Steady.
fairly consistent.
Yeah.
Since then. So like we're having a real resurgence, which feels really nice.
It is a good renaissance of horror movies.
Yeah, and a good like diverse portfolio, if you will.
Yeah.
Like it's not just like the camp, and it's not just like the like super serious or elevated. Like there's so much good stuff across the board, whether it is weird and scary like Weapons, or whether it is like this year especially, we've had some spectacular body horror movies this year.
Yeah. It's so funny you said elevated horror too, because I feel like pre-pandemic elevated horror was the thing that was like coming up with the Hereditary in the midsummer of it all.
Yeah,
but
sure.
You're right. I think now it's something for everyone in the subgenre.
Yeah.
And something for everyone
Oh.
that's good in the subgenres.
And the cool thing about horror fans is that they'll see everything.
Yeah.
Like it's
No matter
not
what.
the three of us, we want to see the like silly campy stuff, but we also want to see the bringer backs and the whatever else came out this year. But you know what I mean, like all that, the sinners and like that kind of stuff. But we're also very interested in I can't think of anything that was silly. But we watched a lot of those silly things.
Yes, we did. All the good silly things. Okay. Should we move on?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yes.
great. Let's go on to brains.
Tasty, tasty, tasty.
Oh yeah, like that mom with her own child tasting those brains. Eek. Nasty,
Much
nasty.
too good for children.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, my first question, Jamie, to you is, why do you think it can become so easy to ruminate on negative thoughts or our deepest fears when we know it doesn't surface us and sometimes causes us to kind of spiral? And I'm just thinking of the whole context of this movie. They kept saying that the evil feeds on your fears. So whatever you're fearing or thinking about, they're going to manipulate and kind of bring that to life. So yeah.
Why do we do this? Why do we do this to
Why?
ourselves? Why? So part of my thought of this is around like our inability to tolerate uncertainty. And I think that like the things that are actually the thing that is the scariest to us is the unknown. Like
Yeah.
not being able to predict what's going to happen and just like, you know, and literally any possibility, sure, could happen. So I think that I think we do a couple of things. We try to anticipate what unknown things could, you know, potentially be coming for us. And I think that it's, you know, kind of, you're saying like we know that it's not good for us, and I do think there's a part of us that know that, but I think that the fear of not knowing is overtaken by wanting to prepare for any possible outcome.
For
And so
sure.
then we start to like hypothesize all of these potential things. And yeah, I think that it's in an attempt to like have some control over something that we don't have any control over. And it's like, well, at least I know that like I'm thinking about these things and I'm trying to like, you know, like there's some element of us having control over that. Even if it feels like we're out of control because of how it's making us feel. But that's like a big like cognitive behavioral therapy thing of like recognizing that connection between your thoughts and your feelings. And so it's like if you're thinking these stressful things, like surprise, surprise, you're going to feel stressed out about it. And the other thing that I, you know, talk to folks about a lot is, let's say that you are, you know, hypothesizing that like a zombie apocalypse is going to happen. And so you're thinking about it a lot and it's scaring the shit out of you the more you think about it. And then let's say that it happens. Let's say that your worst fear comes true. Guess what? You're going to be fucking scared anyway because it's your worst goddamn fear. So now you've experienced that stress time and time and time again. It happens when you're thinking about it. And because you're also a human person who has regular human emotions, if something scary happens to you, you're going to be scared. So the idea that like thinking about these things ahead of time diminishes the emotional response that we have if it actually happens is false. Like we're still going to have our human reactions because that's part of being human, is reacting to things. So I think like the more that we realize that we're like sitting in these feelings unnecessarily because we would rather definitively feel the bad feelings than sit in the unknown. Like making that realization, I think, helps us challenge those moments where we do find ourselves like ruminating or getting stuck in like these thoughts that aren't actually helpful.
Right.
That's fascinating.
Is,
I probably
yeah.
talk about that at least once a day.
I believe that.
Because we do it all the time.
Exactly.
Like, all the time.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard to realize that we're doing it sometimes. And then all of a sudden it's like, why do I feel like shit? And it's like, oh, I've been thinking about like the scariest, the scariest things for the last like hour.
Yeah, it's like, why am I exhausted? Oh, I'm using up all of this energy
Yes.
worrying
Thinking
about
about stressful
something that
things.
doesn't fucking matter.
Right. Or isn't happening right now.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like you're
Someti-
pre-stressing.
Yeah, no, exactly. I like sometimes when I physically feel anxious in my body. So like, you know, like Sunday scaries, I think is a great example where like
Yes.
you start to
Mhm.
feel like physical discomfort, like you might feel tightness in your chest, you might have like a stomach ache, you might be just like really tense in your neck and shoulders or like clenching your fists or even like I find myself clenching my jaw or biting my lip a lot. And
Mhm.
then I'll kind of pause and be like, is something happening right now? Like, do I need to be having this reaction right now? Like, what is going on? And just kind of slowing down and like kind of taking stock of like, is there something physically in my surroundings that I need to be worried about? Is there anything that's happening right now in this moment I need to be worrying about? Are there
Mhm.
things in the future that I might be worried about? Is there anything I can do about them right now that would like help me manage this? And if there are, I can do it. And if there's not, then it's just like, okay, sometimes I just might have to sit in that discomfort, but like I can still do things to like, you know, take care of myself in the moment, but it's not going to take away the fact that like I don't know what the future holds. It's just like
Yeah.
figuring out how to deal with feeling uncomfortable right now.
Yeah, sitting in the discomfort is real because I'll even speak for myself in
Mhm.
that because I don't want to be feeling discomfort, I'm overthinking whatever the situation is because that's me trying to control it, like you said, control the situation or try to figure out a solution for it. But then you just keep spiraling in that when nothing is immediately happening, like in the present time, which is crazy. But yeah, great. And then kind of along those same lines, and you already kind of touched on it too, but like the difference between like spotting your brain kind of protecting you from something or it just being a fear that's like kind of coming up for you. How can we like tell the difference between like if we're feeling anxious about something it's because something is actually happening or we are just living in a fearful moment within our brain in that particular moment?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I feel like I should get this like on a bumper sticker, but I feel like
Yes.
context is really key.
Love it.
Because I think that like kind of what I was just talking about of like when you kind of pause to reflect on what you're feeling in a particular moment, like you can ask yourself some of those questions of like what's going on around me, like is there something that I'm like picking up on that is causing this physical reaction in me? Is there like why am I feeling the way that I'm feeling? And slowing down in that moment to figure out like is it because like you know I'm walking and there's somebody like approaching me and I'm just like well who is this person? You know, or am I like home sitting on the couch and like watching TV and nothing's actually happening to me?
Right.
So I feel like again like if we're noticing certain cues or things like that like because I don't want people to think that anytime you're having a reaction it's something to be ignored, and I think that
Yeah.
that's why it's important to like just reflect on you know what could your body be telling you in this moment, and like when does it warrant a particular response, because I think that our intuition is something super powerful and something that we should continue to like you know hone in on and respect and like you know use to it's another mechanism to keep us safe, it's another mechanism that like drives us, so I do think that it's important to like you know carve out a space to listen to it. But I think also like acknowledging that sometimes we have like you know like a fire alarm system that maybe does a little bit more testing than is necessary, and so just like checking in and being like is this just like a false alarm or is this something where like I actually need to respond to it? And again I think it's just like checking in with yourself, you know, checking your surroundings, like paying attention to like what am I thinking about right now. If you're a person who like physically feels like symptoms of anxiety or stress and you're not always aware of what you're thinking about, like use those body cues to like pause and then be like, what am I doing right now? What am I
Yeah.
thinking about? I might find myself thinking about all kinds of stressful things. And it's like, I didn't even know I was doing that, but I could feel my body feeling uncomfortable. And then when I started to pay more attention, I was like, oh, I'm thinking about all of these things right now. And that's why I don't feel good. Like I physically don't feel good. And some people are very, like, very in their own heads, like very much thinking and aware of the thoughts going on and really struggle with like the connection to their body. And so then also using that as like oh, I'm thinking about all of this stuff. How is it making me feel right now? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I am feeling really tight. I am like, I'm kind of scrunched in a ball and I'm just like holding myself in this pattern. Like being able to use whichever one of these areas that you find yourself gravitating more towards to bring awareness to the other areas, I think it'd be really helpful in deciphering like what's going on for me right now. Is this something that like is urgent that I need to, deal with right in this moment that is telling me I'm unsafe? Or am I just kind of like, stuck maybe in some stressful thinking patterns and like that's why I'm feeling this way?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's so real. Being stuck in stress patterns, it's such a crazy thing because it's also something you're kind of just doing to yourself. And it's like there's
Yeah.
so much other things going on and happening. It's like, why do that to yourself? But it's real.
Why? Why?
Why?
Why?
And my last question, I read an article that was just talking about how the themes about community in this movie and
Mhm.
how they're not helping each other to get through this. Like the brothers go to the police and they're like, that's not our problem to deal with,
Yeah.
or they are going to other people and they're saying, well, we can deal with it this way, but it's opposite of the rules.
Mhm.
So people aren't coming together in this. So my general question to you is, in a time now where we are kind of further dividing instead of uniting as a community, as a people, what do you think we need to not become like these people in this town that's let evil truly just
Lurk?
eat it up, spit it out?
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, in some ways, I feel like there is a big parallel between, that idea and like what's happening
Yeah.
right now in the world. And I think that community is especially important right now. And I think fostering community is rooted in empathy, like a true like compassion towards other people other than yourself, regardless of whether or not you have any personal stakes connected to them. And just being able to like care about, your fellow neighbor because like they're another person. I also think that like something I was thinking about related to that question was like mutual aid and how like on a smaller level how we're able to support one another, because again like sometimes it's really hard in like a massive volume of people asking for help all the time. Like how on a smaller scale how can we help one another? And so I think that like mutual aid is a really effective way for people to share, like individuals who are in need and what they need, and then being able to like, if you don't have the financial resources to support them, are there other ways you can support them by like amplifying their messaging to other
Yes.
people who might be able to help? And like that again feels like it's very rooted in community and like caring about other people. So yeah, I feel like a lot of it is just like having empathy for one another, that like we're all universally human and in this together, and like at our core that's what we are. And so like caring about other people even if it has nothing to do with you, which like feels like something that perhaps is few and far between right now, which is terrifying to think about. Because I think that empathy is such a strength. And like, yes, obviously I'm a therapist, so I like love empathy, but just as like a human person, also maybe because I'm a Cancer and I have feelings, but like I think
Ooh.
as a person, I just think it's so important to care about other people, because like who are we without others? Like,
Yeah. And like you said,
Yeah.
caring even if you don't have any stake in the game. Like just empathy all the way.
because some
I
people
agree.
really struggle with understanding certain things unless they themselves are
Are being
going through it.
affected.
And so, yeah, like, which like shouldn't have to happen for somebody to have empathy for someone else. But yeah, sometimes it is like not being able to comprehend the pain that somebody else is experiencing because they haven't experienced that pain before.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
like true empathy comes from like, you can still support somebody and have compassion for them, even if you have never been through that situation yourself.
Yeah. Team therapy and team empathy all the way.
Woo!
Woo woo. High five. Producer Brian gave everyone on YouTube
Woo-woo.
a high five. Yes. All right. Awesome. Should we rotten tomatin this?
Let's
Rotten
do it.
tomatin.
It's the Rotten Tomatoes game.
Rotten
Okay.
tomatin.
What do you think this has on Rotten Tomatoes? Jamie, let's start with you.
89.
Nikisha?
88.
A 96.
Okay.
Damn good.
Yeah.
And it has a 79 popcorn meter. So here's the critics' consensus. A hard-hitting horror film whose surface-level frights are just as engaging as its thematic concerns. When Evil Lurks marks a viscerally unsettling addition to the possession horror canon. Oh, that's something I should mention. Possession movies, like these are the types of like exorcism possession movies we need, because like all the other ones are the same movie told like a little different. Like this is using that concept in such an interesting way.
It is, and not using the church either, because they in a way
they talk about it, but like it's
it.
not the same. Yeah.
The
The audience says, when Evil Lurks holds nothing back in its mission to unsettle the viewer, and it mostly succeeds, even if it starts stronger than it finishes.
Yeah. I feel that.
Cool. All right. On the Letterboxd, what do you think this has 0 to 5 with decimal points? Nikisha, you go first this time.
I'm going to say 3.6.
Okay. Jamie?
I was going to say 3.9.
It's a 3.5.
Okay.
And here are the 3 most popular reviews. At number 3 is in Spanish. El protagonista es tan del campo que prefere hacerle casa al demonio antes que a una mujer.
All I know is woman.
I'm going to look it up so that I know what you even just said.
I butchered that one.
Wait, aren't you on Duolingo? You're not on Duolingo for Spanish, are you?
I am. I have like an 800-day streak, and I'm very bad at it.
Oh my god! I was waiting for you to ask him about it.
We're Duolingo friends.
We are.
Oh,
that's why I was
God.
like, is it for Spanish? That's funny. That's
That's
why the only thing I know is mujer.
Awkward.
The number 2 is, while Jamie looks that up, number 2 is, what's a dog doing?
I'm screaming.
And then the number 1 review is, demons have trouble understanding autism, apparently.
Oof.
Yeah, that whole thing,
Yeah.
crazy.
Oh, yeah, I think that whole plotline just really rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just read it, and it's basically saying that the protagonist is like so from the countryside that he would prefer to listen to the demon instead of a woman.
Ha.
Oh, that's funny. That's
That is
very
funny. Yes.
All right. Much better than my interpretation of that. All right. Should we do the 4 S's?
Yes.
Yeses.
Skull, scare, shakes, and suggestions. The Talking Horrors 4 S's.
Okay, the 4 S is our skulls, scares, shakes, and suggestions. We're gonna go through these one by one. Skulls is how does it handle mental health and human behavior. Scares is how scary is it. Shakes is does it stay with you, one and done. And then suggestions is we'll give suggestions. Jamie, why don't you start with your numbies?
Sure. I made this pretty easy. I gave this a 666.
Oh.
I
Jeez.
deducted several points because of just how frustrating it was to watch, these two brothers make every wrong decision.
Mhm.
So that, because I was just like, would they really? And maybe there is a world where they would truly make all of these decisions, and maybe I'm just infusing so much of my perspective into it that I'm like, I can't fathom doing any of this.
Mhm.
But for scares, this movie is definitely very scary. Again, even though I spoiled it for myself, it still is super freaky and disturbing. And yeah, it's a pretty horrifying one. For shakes, I feel like I think about this movie occasionally.
Mhm.
I think about like the dog scene in particular, probably more, just like that on
Yeah.
its own.
Yeah. That's fair.
Understood.
Yeah.
Nikisha?
I gave the skulls a 4 because the decisions were just awful, but I gave the scares and shakes both 7s. Because yeah, it was disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
I gave skulls a 5, I gave scares a 6, and I gave shakes a 7.5 for the same reasons that you both mentioned. I'll let you all go first for suggestions. Jamie, do you want to start?
Sure. I would definitely recommend Terrified. For me, I actually think that it is scarier. I think Terrified scared me more than this movie did.
Yeah, same director for those who don't know.
And then as we were talking, I think Nikisha, or now I don't remember who said, but talking about like possession through the avenue of zombies being like a really fascinating way to like spread possession. If you like that, you should watch Rec, another Spanish language film.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Mm-hmm. Ugh, Jamie, you took one of mine.
Oh shit, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I have others. But I just put Rec just for that's one of my favorite Spanish horror movies that I have seen. I mentioned this before, but VVH, simply for the goats. Simply for the goats.
Mm-hmm.
And then, The Omen, if you want to talk about birthing a demon.
Mm-hmm.
And then Children of the Corn, because that's just what that last scene was giving me.
They're creepy.
Sure.
They're creepy.
They're creepy and they're spooky. I don't know.
They are all together ooky.
Ooky.
Is it ooky or kooky?
The
Now
creepy and
I thought it was kooky.
They're all together spooky.
I'm looking it
gotta
up.
Make a dookie.
I don't think they've got to make a dookie. I don't think that's one of the lines.
The creepy and the kooky.
Mysterious.
They're all
and spooky.
together kooky. The Addams Family.
Well, actually, it says they're all together ooky, so it is ooky.
It was ooky.
It's
wow.
Okay, nice.
Right. Yeah, I'll take your apologies now.
You were right, Jamie. We are sorry.
Thank you. Oh my god, I love to hear it.
My suggestion is The Dark and the Wicked.
Oh yeah, that's a great suggestion.
And The Offering. We talked about it before. Watch The Offering. It's pretty decent.
Great. All right, well that wraps up our episode of When Evil Lurks. You can
No, I don't know. I don't know.
I think we're all a little delusional and sleep deprived.
I think so.
But that's okay.
You're not going to finish it? Evil Lurks.
No, just when? When is it lurking? They didn't even answer that.
Right. Well, I can answer where you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Ooh, segue at Talk Horror Pod. And producer Brian, where can they listen to us?
You can listen to us wherever you get podcasts. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Rate and review us there. 5 stars, please.
And
thank
you. Oh, I can't. Okay, so now you got to sing the whole theme song for Adam's Family, Brian.
Well, can you? What was the quote? The evil kids love evil, and evil loves kids.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh, okay. So we'll end with. Wait, let me make sure that I get it right. Yes. Evil likes children, and children like evil.
All right. Bye.
Bye.